I used to believe that if I could just manage my time better, I'd finally feel in control. I had the apps, the calendars, the color-coded to-do lists. Every hour was planned, every minute accounted for. And yet, every night I went to bed with that quiet emptiness, the feeling that I'd been busy all day but hadn't done anything that truly mattered. It was around that time I came across a question that changed everything. What if time isn't what I should be managing at all? That's where David Kadavy's journey begins. Like so many of us, he chased the illusion of perfect scheduling until he realized that time doesn't create progress, your mind does. You can have a full day planned, but if your mind isn't aligned, nothing meaningful happens. He describes this moment almost like a personal awakening, the day he stopped asking, "How can I control my time?" and started asking, "How can I cooperate with my mind?" Because while the clock ticks in a steady rhythm, the mind dances to its own tune, shifting between focus and distraction, energy and fatigue, clarity and confusion. Kadavy discovered that every person has natural mental states that come and go throughout the day. Moments when the imagination opens wide, moments when logic takes the wheel, moments when the body just needs to rest. He calls this mind management, the art of working with your mental energy instead of forcing it into a schedule that ignores its rhythm. He shares a story from his own life, the times he sat at his desk trying to write, staring at the blinking cursor, angry at himself for not producing. But when he stopped fighting, when he allowed himself to rest, take a walk, let his thoughts drift, ideas would suddenly appear, vivid and alive. He realized creativity isn't something you summon, it's something you allow. He explains that our minds move through invisible stages, first gathering information and inspiration, then quietly processing it beneath the surface, then suddenly connecting the dots in that electric moment of insight, before finally refining and shaping the result. When we rush, when we force ourselves to be productive, we interrupt this natural process. We dig up the seed before it has time to grow. He calls this the creative cycle, and he learned that his best work came when he trusted it. He stopped measuring productivity by hours worked and began measuring it by creative alignment. He began to notice patterns, mornings when his thoughts flowed easily, afternoons when his brain preferred editing and structure, evenings when his body demanded rest. He built his schedule around those patterns, and suddenly work stopped feeling like a battle. It became a rhythm, like breathing. He describes it like surfing. You can't control the ocean, but you can learn its waves. When your creative energy rises, ride it. When it falls, rest. That's not laziness, it's wisdom. The book dives deeper into what makes that possible. Kadavy found that every moment of creativity is shaped by three forces that constantly interact: attention, emotion, and energy. When one of them slips, everything falters. If your attention scatters, your ideas dissolve. If your emotions are heavy with fear or self-criticism, your creativity freezes. And always, it requires protecting attention, because what you focus on grows, and what you ignore fades away. He tells stories of how simple rituals helped him manage his mind, making coffee before writing, not as a habit, but as a trigger, a signal to the brain that it's time to create. Setting aside sacred hours when no email or meeting could interrupt his mental flow. Tracking his energy throughout the day to know when to write, when to edit, and when to stop. He didn't impose a schedule on his mind. He listened to it. But this transformation wasn't easy. He admits he struggled with guilt, that voice that whispers, "You're wasting time," whenever you're not visibly busy.
Yet over time, he saw that true productivity often looks slow, even lazy from the outside. It's the quiet moments, the walk in the park, the blank stare out the window, the idle doodles that often lead to the greatest insights. Rest, reflection, and stillness aren't escapes from work. They are the work. Through this, Kadavy challenges the cultural obsession with hustle. He says that chasing time efficiency makes us mechanical. But we're not machines. We're living systems. Time management squeezes us. Mind management frees us. Because managing your mind isn't about control. It's about understanding. He even discovered that the more he respected his mental flow, the more he accomplished, in less time, with less stress. He stopped trying to fill every hour and started focusing on the moments that truly mattered. Instead of doing everything, he began doing what mattered most, deeply and intentionally. And paradoxically, by doing less, he achieved more. One of the book's most human lessons is this: managing your mind means getting to know yourself, not who you wish you were, but who you really are. You begin to see your patterns, your rhythms, your limits. You stop comparing yourself to others' productivity hacks and start designing your own. You stop chasing perfection and begin embracing presence. Kadavy writes, when you work with your mind, you grow with your mind. And that's the beauty of it. This is not just a productivity system, it's a path to self-awareness. Because when you manage your inner world, your outer world begins to align naturally. He reminds us that the goal isn't to dominate time, but to dance with it, to create from a place of clarity and peace. When you stop fighting your mind, you begin to flow. And when you flow, you create effortlessly, not because you forced yourself to, but because you allowed yourself to. So if you've been measuring your worth by how busy you are, this book invites you to pause. Take a breath. Ask yourself not how can I do more, but how can I think better? Because time is not your real challenge. Your relationship with your mind is. And once you learn to manage that, you discover a quiet, powerful truth. You've always had enough time. You just needed to learn how to use your mind to live it. Okay, my friends.
If this story resonated with you, if it made you think differently about how you spend your days and how you use your mind, then let it be your reminder to slow down, to listen, and to create with intention. And before you go, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who's tired of racing against time. Because here at FROMBOOK, we don't just summarize ideas, we explore the stories that change how we live, think, and create.